Hey everyone, Super Saiyan Sanchez back here with another video, bringing you the SH Figuarts Avengers Age of Ultron Mark 43. We've already seen this figure in the 3-0 form, the diecast Iron Man that I've shown in the last, maybe in the last month, I believe. Yeah, but I just want to show you guys the SH Figuarts. This is long overdue. I've been talking about doing this video. It was in the mail call. Just in case anyone missed that video, check it out. Let me go ahead and put them on the 360 stand so you guys can see the box. Let's go ahead and rise up the camera, sorry. Get a closer view of the box. Yeah, I'm a big fan of boxes just because I like to see how the box is, how they show off. Sometimes they do a lot more on the Dragon Ball Z SH Figuarts. They show off different poses. Right here, they don't have as much poses, but it's still cool. There's still a lot of stuff we could do here. Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and take them out of the package. All right, everyone, and here he is out of the package. This is, like I said, the Mark 43 from the Avengers Age of Ultron. This is an older figure, so I'm pretty sure there's a lot more updated versions of them. I know that Tamashii has released a lot more figures over time, updated versions, updated molds. This is I think it's a pretty cool figure. This is my first, no, I believe it's my second SH figure of Marvel. I really want to have his. I really want to collect the whole collection, but it's kind of up there, you know. They've made so many different variations. They've re-released figures just in different boxes. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Before we go ahead and put them on the stand, I just thought we'd go ahead and grab the instruction manual, the operation manual. Let's go ahead and zoom in on this for you guys. All right. Just showing you that he does come with his hands. It's pretty cool. They don't really show too much here, but yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and pull out the figure. Let's go ahead and put them on the rotating stand for you guys. Let's go ahead and turn on the stand. All right. I'm gonna put him on the stand, and then we'll take a look right at him after. Let's see if he can stand though. And there he is. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in on that. Too zoomed in, sorry about that. Yeah, he looks pretty cool. For SH figure art, I think it looks pretty cool. I definitely like the paint job. It's not as hot rod red as I would like it to be, like the 3-0. If anyone did see that review, it's pretty detailed with the color. All right, let's go ahead and grab him. And he is heavy on the bottom of his legs. It feels like a little bit of die cast. Maybe it's a little bit of metal. Something in here. It's pretty cool. He is a pretty cool figure. Sorry about the wiggling and stuff. Just want to show you guys a little more closer. I guess he does have a lot of little detail. I'm not really sure what this is. This figure is pre-owned. I got him in I bought him, I believe I bought him on eBay. Oh, it might have been a while back. But yeah, he looks pretty cool. Alright, and let's go ahead and let's put him on the stand. Let's go ahead and take a look at all the accessories he does come with. Alright. Sorry about that, everyone. Bring it closer. All right, and he doesn't come with too much. These are, like I said, the older SH Figuarts. This is some blast effects that would go on his hands. He would place them into the peg on his hand. Yeah, they're pretty cool. These are the smaller versions of them, a little shorter. Look pretty good. Look at the detail. Like I said, this figure is very old, so this came out very early on. And these would go on the bottom of the feet. Yeah. We'll start with that. So we're gonna get a closer look at it. Yeah, it looks good. A little bit of hard plastic, and I believe this one's a little more softer. Yeah. Alright, he comes with 3 other sets of hands. Let's go ahead and grab these. And there he is, where he could be doing a blast. Opening his hand. Or maybe saluting someone. Maybe saluting Rhodey or something. And here's another open hand. Well, this one looks more like he is doing more of a blast. Yeah. And up here on the top, sorry about that. Up here on the top, you would actually have the. Well, I'll show you guys right now some flaps that you can put on to his hand where he is doing. It's like a flap that is holding that would be going over it, but I'll show you guys right now. It's kind of cool, but I don't like that you have to kind of remove it. You'll see what I'm saying. And these are the open palm hands where you could put the blast effect, or I would say in the peg. This is the peg where you would place the blast effect on. Let's go ahead and show you guys real quick. Here you are. Oh, sorry about that. This is a small hand. So. All right, and there you are. Pretty cool. Yeah. Alright, let me show you the other hand with the smaller piece. Okay, there you are. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Alright, and for accessories, that's about it. I wish they did add more, but I'm happy with what they gave us, so you can't complain. You just gotta be happy with what you got. And like I said, it is an older figure, so that's the way it goes sometimes. Why am I standing stopping? I have no idea. Alright. And he looks pretty cool. Like I said, just let me go ahead and bring this in real quick for you guys. You guys can get a comparison. Alright, sorry about that. This is a 3-0, the diecast figure that I did show, 3-0, the Mark 43. It is the same exact figure as this one. The both are the same. One's SH Figuarts and one is 3-0. I'm pretty sure this one came out a lot later. Of course, you can see the difference, how big it is. It's a lot heavier, a lot more details. You can't do as much on this figure than you can on this figure. But just wanted to show you guys a little comparison side by side. It's a pretty big difference. Yeah. All right, and we're going to start doing the poses. Maybe try to figure out what we're gonna do here. See what we got. We always go with the boxes. Yeah, we got some cool ideas here. All right, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and go with. Say we're gonna go with this pose first to start off. All right, so we'll keep them there as reference so you guys can look back. All right. Sorry about the adjustment of the light. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and another good thing about this this figure is that unlike 3-0, you can actually he has more articulation, of course. The 3-0 is a little more stiff. You know, like I said in the 3-0, it's more easier to. It feels like it's more easier to break off parts. But yeah, let's go ahead and check this out. We're gonna go ahead and swap his hand out. And like I said, this figure does come out very not as many parts because oh, and this is another piece that goes on each hand. It is this piece, this small piece where he can put his arm back where he is doing the blast. I'll go ahead and show you on the hand we're going to use. Not that hand. All right, but using it on this hand. And let me go ahead and zoom in so you guys can see it better. All right. So you just kind of just pop it in there. All right. I believe it's this way. And there it is. And you could just bend it up. It's pretty simple. Sorry for the out of focus. I'm gonna pop it on his hand, and we'll zoom out. Just wanted you guys to see how what we could do there. All right, we're gonna go ahead and keep the same. Let me see right here. He is he's using the hand that is his other palm hand, or he could be doing another blast. Let's go ahead and grab this. We have to remove this part. Let's go ahead and pop it in. Sorry about that. Pop it in. Pop it into the peg. He is bending his knee. One thing I did notice also is that the paint does chip on this figure very easily. I did get it used, so he does chip the paint. I did see some paint chipping. Let me go ahead and zoom in on that. I did see some paint chipping around his leg. Of course, he's putting all his weight there, so I understand. But yeah, it's kind of kind of sucks. You shouldn't really be moving him around too much. Not saying that you shouldn't, but just to be on the safe side, you know. You don't want to constantly move that. All right. And does the peg move? That's the question I want to know. It doesn't move. Okay. And we're gonna have his hand a little up with his hand back here. He is facing forward. Let's go ahead and put him on the stand. See how this goes. I'm not 100% how this is gonna go. Let's check it out. I was contemplating using some of my mounting putty right now, but I haven't decided yet. And his body is swinging back. Right there. He is leaning forward a little bit. Okay. I want his hand to go just a little more. It's not exactly how I wanted, but it's fine. Okay. Yeah, that's the best we're gonna get it. Have his head going like he is facing. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the stand now. Let's go ahead. Sorry about that, everyone. My stand was disconnected. Let's go ahead and zoom in on him. Check this out. Be a little better. You can actually fit him in here better just because of because he is down on one knee. Yeah, I think he looks great. He does have more well, you can move him around a lot more, like I said, than the 3-0. You can't do the 3-0 as well. You just gotta mess around with it. Be careful because he feels more premium. I think I'm trying to say that. That's just my opinion. Alright, let's go ahead and take them off. Alright, let's go ahead and go for another pose. Alright. And this is a lot easier, like I said, it's the SH Figuarts version. They're actually a lot easier to move around than grab the 3-0. Like the 3-0, you can move it around as well, but just, you know, having to bend the knee, and sometimes it could be a hassle. The SH Figuarts is more, you know, you're able to do more. I feel like it's more, you know, moving around, at least the articulation wise. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and go for this pose, which is pretty cool. I'll leave that there for reference. All right, let's see. All right, we're gonna go with the smaller effect. Okay, I'm on the wrong hand. I grabbed the wrong hand. Okay, this is the right hand. Alright. And that's the way it goes. Oh, sorry, I fell out of my hand. Alright. Let's go ahead and pop in. Oh, actually remembered that I have to remove this piece. Like I said, it's kind of annoying having to do this. I don't really like that you constantly have to do this. I actually dropped the hand right now. This is really annoying, I think, in my opinion. Alright. So having to swap this is, you know, but it's me being, you know, it bothers me. Maybe to others it won't make a big deal. All right. And he does have his fists. Like he is gonna throw a punch while he's sending the blasts. Okay. And if anyone does have any Marvel SH Figuarts, let me know what you have. I do want to have Captain America in my collection. I do want to collect the whole Marvel collection, which would be pretty cool. I just there's so many, and that's probably the thing about it, is there's too many as of right now to me just to try to collect. Yeah, I would have to do it over time because they have so many Avenger movies. They have their own separate movies. They have Iron Man. They've had so many different ones. So I kind of feel like you have to decide on what you're willing, what you're willing to spend. I guess your budget. If you have a good budget, then yeah, you go for it. But yeah, it could be expensive from what I could see. All right, I'm gonna put his hand like that. Sorry about moving the camera. All right, not moving in front of the camera more. Sorry. All right, here we are. All right, so we got the pose. Let's go ahead and put them on the stand I've been using recently, the CT stand. I've been using this one a lot more. Let's grab some. I do use the mounting putty from Gorilla. It's really good. I usually just grab a big piece, just try to. Sorry about that. I try to just wrap it up. I don't really like to use a little C. I'm not really sure what you call it, but you can. It's like a little C claw that you can put on the stand, but I feel like it never really works that well. So, all right, we'll just wrap it up here. All right, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna have to put some. I'll go ahead and just put it right here by his leg. Not really sure how to do this one right here, where it doesn't look too bad. I'll go ahead and put it right here on his back. See how it goes. Like I said, you're not really it's not really gonna bother you if you have it in a pose, and yeah. Alright, I think we got the pose right there. Alright, let's go ahead and put them on the stand. Let me start the rotating stand. I think this pose looks pretty good. Just kind of turn him, tilt him to the side, having him like he's about to come at someone with a punch, and he's doing the effect, the blast effect. I actually think he might be doing the bigger effect. Let's go ahead and go with the bigger effect instead. Alright. Sorry about the background noise. Got my rabbit hopping around. She's always making noise. If anyone has pets, you know what I'm talking about. Alright. Let's turn him to the side of it. Okay. The question is, will he hold? Let's see. Alright, I think that's theirs. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in on that. And like I said, that could be the mounting putty can be very distracting, but like I said, we're just going for we're going for a pose, and if you did have them in your display stand, it's not gonna be really a big problem to you. Yeah. Let's see if we can zoom in just a little more. And there it is, there's a pose. Yeah, and he looks great. I don't know, does everyone prefer the little C to the stand, like where you can just clip them onto the leg? I prefer the mounting putty. But let me know what you guys think. How do you guys pose your figures? How do you prefer to pose them? Alright. Let's go ahead and remove him. Let me zoom out. Okay. Alright, now we're gonna go for some more poses here. I'm gonna try to attempt a pose I did on. Let me put the camera in, sorry. Where I did do it on the 3-0, where he is pounding the floor. Let's go ahead and give that one a try. It's not on the box, so we're gonna have to just attempt this and see how this goes. It's a pose. If anyone did see my 3-0, if you didn't, go back and check it out. That figure is pretty cool. the stuff you could do with him, and just the way the paint, everything about 3-0 to me is top notch. If anyone hasn't got a 3-0 figure, definitely go for it. You're gonna like what you get. If you go look at the review, you can actually see what's out there, and maybe you're like, hey, maybe that might be the reason you decide to give it a try. All right, so sorry about that. All right, let's go ahead and let's swap his hand out. Let's see. I'll have this hand for sure. All right, here we are. All right, and let's see how this goes. This is similar to how the Hulk Buster, I did do the Hulk Buster where he is, and I like how you can just pull this out and you can move it around when you're trying to do a pose. Yeah, let's go ahead and see if we can do this. We're gonna have him just, crouching down with his hand down. You know what? I was gonna keep the open hand, but I decided let's go ahead and swap and put the fist hand instead. I think that might just look a little better. So let's see how this goes. Okay, sorry. I'm not really sure how this one's gonna go. Put his hand up. Alright, let's go ahead and give this one a try. This is just something off, I got an idea of off the Hulk Buster that I did do a review on. Not really sure if this is gonna look good or not. I'm just giving it a try. I'm not 100% sure if it's gonna look good. Let's go ahead and see. I think it looks a little funny, honestly. Maybe right here, yeah. I kind of wish that his arm was just a little longer. Let me see if I can pop him out. Yeah, I can pop him out just a little right here. Let's see how this is. I'm pretty sure everyone's seen this iconic pose where he does land, and yeah. I'm trying to do it where it doesn't look weird. Kind of looks good. Alright. And for this, let's go ahead and I'm gonna take off the camera and show a better view. Alright, and this is the better view. It's because I feel like he doesn't have the longer arms the way the 3-0 figure does. The 3-0 figure is about maybe about 7 inches, and these are a little smaller. So yeah, let's go ahead and I'm gonna mess with this just a little bit. Sorry, I'm doing it with one hand. Yeah, it's kind of a little harder. Alright everyone, and this is a better point of view. Not exactly how I wanted it to be, but yeah, you can see how you can mess around with it and try to get it right. But yeah, it was a failed attempt right there, but yeah. Let's give it another try on a different pose. Alright, let's go ahead and take him off. I'm gonna go ahead and attempt it with where he is doing the effects. Alright. Let's see. Let's remove his fists. Like I said, we're gonna go ahead and use his hands where he is using the flames, his effect pieces. And since the Avengers line and basically most of the Iron Man Marvel stuff is kind of older, I know that now they're trying to remake more stuff since more of the there's more movies coming out, and you know, Avengers Doomsday is coming out. Does anyone collect any Marvel figures? If you do you have the whole collection? Do you prefer actually for someone that collects nothing but Captain America. So just depends on what you like, Let me know what you guys think. All right, we got the hands there with the pegs. Let's go ahead and all right. I'll use a smaller ones on here. And I'm going ahead and rolling with you guys because I kind of feel like you don't really have to do too. You have to stop the camera too much on this figure. It doesn't really have too many accessories. Yeah, definitely got to get the Iron Man on here for sure. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna go with the longer ones. I think it looks way better. All right. Go ahead and have him doing a blast effect. And for this, we're gonna go ahead and put him on the. We're gonna go ahead and put him on the stand, the CT stand. All right, moving him around correctly. I think he looks great right here. Oh yeah, definitely. This is probably definitely gonna be the thumbnail right here. Let's turn this. All right. And we're gonna grab the CT stand. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little more mounting putty. I was having a little bit of problems with him right now, just with the mounting putty. But let's go ahead and see how this looks. I'm gonna try to place it in a spot where he's at the right angle and it doesn't look too noticeable. I know it's gonna be noticeable, but not too noticeable. That's the whole thing. All right. I think that looks great right there. All right, let's go ahead and let's pick up the camera just a bit. Sorry about that. Alright, let's go ahead and bring him down a bit. And let's start the. Alright. Yeah, he looks great. Sorry about that. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. And yeah, he does look great. I know it's noticeable. It's kind of, it's kind of an eyesore, but still, the figure looks great. The pose, you definitely can't deny the pose looks great. And I would love to have him next side by side with Iron Man. Like, I'm sorry, with Captain America. I think they make a great team, and maybe the Hulk too. Yeah. If anyone does have Thor or maybe Captain America or basically the whole team, let me know. Is it worth buying? I know some of the older figures have gone up in price, and I'm not a huge fan of some of the prices. I think they're kind of the figure is outdated, and yeah, that's just my opinion of it. All right, go ahead and take them off the stand. Let's go ahead and do another pose. Yeah, I've seen the one of the Hulk from the movie. He's kind of up there with the price because of his. I guess he's an older figure. I've seen some. Like I said, I've seen some of the older figures go up for there, like the Hulk, and maybe I think it's up there as what's his name? War Machine. War Machine has gone up in price, and I've seen his figure goes for $100 plus. So I guess it just depends on what you're willing to spend. Me, I'm personally not really wanting to spend. He's worth it from what I've seen. Like, his images look great, but I just don't see myself spending $100 on him. But if I could find him at a discount price or maybe something else, then yeah, definitely. But yeah, that's just me. Maybe people are just like, hey, well, you gotta pay what you gotta pay, because I know a lot of the Justice League Mayfex figures are up there in price, and it gets kind of crazy and pricey. Everyone knows who collects, like now, like even more, the prices for the figures are expensive, and I've always thought that myself. But it just depends, man. Like, I know if you could find a good deal, yeah, we kind of try to justify it. All right, and I think we got it. Let's go ahead and see him. Adjust his hand. I'm gonna have him. I want to have him where he looks like he's kind of like flying to the side, where he's just still looking at everyone. Yeah, shout out to Poncheesy. Posing is not easy. Posing ain't easy. It's kind of hard sometimes. Anyone who does this for a living, or does like YouTube, or poses their figures, or just in general just posing, is kind of hard. All right, and I think that's great. But I think his flame on his foot is coming out. All right, yeah, I think that's great right there. All right, let me go ahead and start the stand. And wow, like he looks really good. Like I said, that's the eyesore right there. But if you have him sorry about that. If you have him inside of his your display case, it's not really gonna bother you that much. Yeah, I think he looks great. I think he's a lot more easier to pose than the 3-0, like I said, just because of how, you know, you can move him around. He's just more what's the word? He's more I don't know, more flexible with the figure. Like the SH Figuarts, like 3-0 is pretty cool, but the SH Figuarts, you know, you can move them around, and the posability is really good. So yeah, sorry, lost the word I was trying to find right there. All right, let's go ahead and back the camera out. All right, check this out. All right, let's go ahead and take them off. Let's do another pose. I want to have, when his hands are more let's go ahead and have him, I'm gonna swap his hands out for the similar hands, just without the peg. All right. Swap his hands out, like I said. All right, here we go. And we're gonna keep his feet the same way, where he is. Let's go to the side and have his hand out. Just like he is suspended in the sky. That's the look we're kind of going for. All right, bend his knee up. Okay. He is kind of loose here in the waist, which kind of sucks, but like I said, he is an older figure, so like I'm not gonna hold it against I know over time they kind of get loose. The good thing about the 3-0 is he doesn't feel loose at all in his waist, and like I said, he's made of die cast. Sorry about that. He's made of die cast, so that's probably another reason. All right, go ahead and make him stand up just a little bit. Sorry for hitting the camera, guys. I didn't mean to. Have his hand. All right. And there we are. Yeah, and he looks great there. Definitely up there. All right, everyone, sorry about that. I had to move everything out the way, showing you guys the height comparison of the SH Figuarts Mark 43 versus the 3-0. Just wanted to bring some figures in here so you guys can see the height comparison. Of course, there's a huge difference right now. I'll go ahead and zoom in so you guys can see that. There's a huge difference in the height. The helmet's way bigger. 3-0 is pretty cool. I I think, or maybe it might be an 8-inch figure. I'm not really sure. I didn't even see the height comparison. Yeah, but let's go ahead and bring in another figure here. So I can show you guys. And it's gonna be a Mafex Ben Reilly, and he's gonna be standing next to Iron Man, and he looks actually pretty accurate to the size, to the height. He might just be just a little more taller. And since we are doing this whole Iron Man, I was like, why not just bring the big boy out? Bring in the Hulkbuster. Let's go ahead and move Ben Reilly out the way so we can get an idea here. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, let me back. I was gonna say let me back out the camera, but yeah. Yeah, this is the 3.0 version, and this is the SH Figuarts. To me, the SH Figuarts looks perfect right next to him. Oh, sorry about that. Let me put the camera down. Let me zoom out. He looks perfect right next to him, and this is the 3.0. So yeah, I definitely prefer the height. This height, the SH Figuart height. But of course, I appreciate the 3.0. The 3.0 is definitely up there. Like, let me just grab these two. And just color wise, detail wise, there's a bigger difference in price. Of course, like I said, this is more of a premium die cast figure, and this is just more plastic. His legs are just a little heavy. Maybe they might have a little bit of die cast. Maybe that's why it scratches up. I think the legs are die cast. They feel a little heavier, and you can actually see the difference right here. Like, well, maybe you can't see it on camera, but you can see the plastic, and then it changes. Something about the red changes here, and maybe you just might have to have the figure in hand. But I personally think that this I prefer this height. The 3.0 is still cool. I'm not gonna knock it. It's still pretty cool, the detail here. All right, so overall, I'm just gonna go ahead and move the Hulkbuster out the way. Overall, I'm just gonna go ahead and say that this figure is definitely up there. This is a great figure. Anyone who doesn't have a Marvel SH figure definitely needs to go for it. The Avengers, but you're talking about a huge line. Like, you're probably talking over 50 figures, I'm assuming, because you have Iron Man, Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, then you start the Avengers, and there's a couple Avengers, there's maybe 4 Avenger movies, maybe 5 right now. I can't even remember how many Avengers. There's 4 Avenger movies. And then you have all the movies. You got Thor, you got Captain America. You have so many different, Iron Mans in each movie. So I believe there's 40 Iron Mans, 40 to 50 Iron Mans. I'm assuming it's like right there because there's a lot. So would you get into this line knowing that you got so many figures? Like Dragon Ball Z has over, I believe, about 200 figures, maybe close to 200, but a lot of stuff is retooled, premium color. It's all the same stuff. Sometimes some of the figures are just re-released but in a different paint job, which is kind of, to me, getting annoying, having to see the new Ultra Instinct Goku where he has like glossy pants, and I'm not really feeling that. Like, I'm not really feeling like they keep reproducing the same figures over and over and over. I want to see something new. I want to see a Tapion. I want to see a Janemba. I want to see the new stuff that they have. So this line has a lot of figures, and since the new Doomsday is going to come out and they're going to keep going with the line, I'm assuming that it's going to get even more figures. So would this line be something you would collect? Me personally, yes, but I would not be trying to rush in to buy every figure because there's so many. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and say that this I give this figure a solid 7 out of 10. It's a good figure. It's not a great figure. I know there's more Iron Man SH Figuarts that I'm hoping to get soon, maybe in the near future. I'm not in a rush because, like I said, there's so many, but I'm going to give this, like I said, a 7 out of 10. Let me know what you guys thought of the review. If there's something I'm not doing, give me a heads up. Tell me, hey, we should try this. Hey, you should do this. I'm always down to hear what you guys got to say. I want to grow with the channel. I want you guys to grow with me. Help me get better for you guys. If you guys have any thoughts, anything like that, just leave it in the comments. I'm always replying to everyone. Big shout out to everyone that's been subscribing lately. I'm already past 180 subscribers. I really appreciate everyone watching. If you are watching and you aren't subscribed, definitely subscribe. And thank you for the likes, the comments that people do leave. Shout out to you guys. You guys are helping me grow. Super Saiyan Sanchez out.